and then action items. So we'll then move to old business, new business, correspondence, approval of minutes, citizens forum, and then we will adjourn. So with that, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Again, unfortunately, my recurrent moment of silence has been a prayer for peace in the Middle East, and thoughts to all of our service members and all the boys and girls who are on the front line there, and hopefully they all come back safely. So with that, thoughts to our service members and their families. Please take a moment of silence. Thank you. All right, public service announcements. Mary Lou?
Just want to say congratulations to Mary Dowling and my daughter Jess Baker for completing the Boston Marathon yesterday.
Wow.
Thank you.
Way to go, Mary.
Well, I have to say that some of the people that run are just incredibly inspirational.
Yeah.
Just a lot of physical challenges, and boy, they're the inspiration. Blind people, deaf people, it's just
Pregnant
amazing.
ladies.
What's that?
Pregnant ladies were
And
running.
pregnant and people with no limbs, and I just, it's God's blessings to them for sure. And then I saw on the news, I didn't see this individual, but somebody ran barefoot.
Oh my gosh.
I just, anyways.
Yeah.
So it makes the rest of us look kind of,
Although interesting, probably not a public service.
not anything I was going to try, but,
All right, Mary, any public service announcements?
and, no, I don't.
I just will remind everybody that the town meeting is this coming Monday, the 27th, right? Yes. So please go. I imagine if you're here, you're probably going already, but so thank you for that. Okay, Robin, we're moving to you.
A couple of quick things. Reminder, we are having a housing forum on May 6th at 6 o'clock in this room. That will be working with our housing consultant, taking the results of the survey. In fact, we have a housing trust member in the back there, Mr. Hersey, taking the results of the survey that was out. We had a decent number of respondents to the survey, and looking at the future of housing and housing development in town for affordable housing, seniors, first-time home buyers, the whole thing. And it's basically going to be roundtable discussions. So we really encourage participation from the public. We encourage participation from local realtors, developers, anybody who may have an interest in the future of housing in town. So that is May 6th at 6 o'clock in this room. We had a town cleanup this weekend. I want to thank Terry Masterson for coordinating with our new chapter of Keep Sturbridge Beautiful, which was the result of the whole discussion on NIPS, and thanks to that, the start of that
Something
discussion.
good came of it.
Something good came of it. We have a chapter of Keep Sturbridge Beautiful under Keep Massachusetts Beautiful. We had 9 people, I believe, from Yankee Spirits came, their staff and team, as well as 7 or 8 residents who are part of our new Keep Sturbridge Beautiful chapter. They did some cleanup. Conservation did its cleanup. Trails was out all weekend doing some major cleanups this weekend. So it was just a great weekend for Town Pride. And I'd like to say that Heather indicated DPW picked up 100 bags of trash today that had been collected by people, 100 bags.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was on Route 15, and there were several people from the Yankee Spirits all picking up.
And they've been a wonderful partner
Yeah.
in this, and they've been instrumental in getting us on to Keep Sturbridge Beautiful. And I was asked to read an email from a resident. She said, my husband was brought unexpectedly to the hospital by ambulance on Thursday, April 9th. On Friday morning, on my way to Harrington Hospital to see him, I stopped at the town clerk's office to pick up a ballot for him to complete, and I would return it to Town Hall prior to election on Monday. When she heard my story, Town Clerk Lynn Gerard volunteered to meet me at the hospital and personally bring the ballot to him. She did so, and after she left, we received so many positive comments from the nurses and others working in the area and in this room. It made us proud to witness Lynn's kind gesture of kindness and dedication to her work, and that came from Pauline and Robert White. So thanks to Lynn for yeoman's work and really the sanctity and importance of elections. And we do know every vote counts, particularly in local elections. So thank you. We really do. And I just have to say that our housing coordinator came in today, Karen, and she found my office and she said, Robin, this town hall is so responsive and pleasant when you walk in. And that really credit to that whole first floor when people come in. It's just nice to get something from the public, but something as important as the election. And that is it from me.
I would just piggyback on that, just to thank Lynn and Sheila and all the people who worked in the election last week. It's thankless work. It's people. It's something. I guess we're generally good in this town, but there are always tempers running high, and a lot of conversations are happening around these things on the internet and in other places, and just to know that we have such a trustworthy and diligent election team is really remarkable.
I totally agree. I'm
So
glad you
thanks
brought
for
it up. I didn't think of it, but, and they're always so pleasant. And can I, through the chair, also say
Of
something?
course, yeah.
And I just want to welcome Mary Lou back.
Oh, thank you.
I was so preoccupied with my own weekends, but it's good to have you back on the board.
Thank you.
And, yeah, the elections, and they're always so nice when you walk in.
And we will continue to do those tables. That was very popular this year, putting out committee and department tables. People got a chance, if there was an article on town meeting that we thought, I think Trails was there with the bridge article, so that, people could hear about what was coming up at town meeting. I think the public has a right to see what their tax dollars pay for, and those tables are a good chance for them to ask questions. DPW had a board up. So I think we're going to continue to do that, have the town tables, the department tables. It's a great chance for us to catch people, and what I did find when I went in a few times during the day was a sense of community that was so nice. People didn't just run in and vote and walk out. They stopped, they talked to their neighbors, they saw what was going on in town, they asked questions, and it got people engaged. And Lynn brought the town reports, and a huge number of them went, which is great.
And we had a good voter turnout.
Yeah, yep, so wanting to encourage that.
Great. And with that, I don't know, is Katie in on the call as well?
I think he's there.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, Katie, and welcome. I
Yes.
didn't know you were here remotely. It's good to have you.
Yeah.
Well,
No, thank you. Yeah, I apologize I could not be there tonight. We had a vacation planned way ahead. So, and I have no expectations, so, but I'm excited to work with you guys moving forward.
congratulations to you, Katie, and then hopefully you guys, this school vacation week is always what it is, so.
It's always tricky.
All right, thank you for that. So, okay, so we're gonna move to the action items, which is initial action item. We are skipping A. We're moving, which was a possible resignation of April Griffin. That will not be moving forward at this point. We are moving to consideration and possible action on approval of a hawker and peddler license for Aaron Giese of Triforce Exterior Services LLC with an expiration date of March 12th, 2027. Hi,
Select board.
how are you doing?
Good. Yourself?
Great, so are you Mr. Giese, I take it?
I am. I'm Aaron Gizzy. Yep.
Okay, and what are you gonna be doing, sir?
Basically, while I'm in town, just trying to get the opportunity to potentially serve other customers of the community, doing pressure washing, gutter cleaning,
Okay,
basically just small home maintenance stuff.
okay, gotcha. Questions from the board?
Are you going to go door to door, or?
That is the goal. I am licensed in Holden, Leicester, Spencer, and Paxton right now. So it's not going to be often I'm here, but when I do naturally get work here, being able to maybe go through the neighborhood I'm in,
Got it.
5-10 houses here and there.
So I know usually when we've had this in the past, we just put down certain hours so that,
After 7 o'clock.
yeah, not
typically,
after a
Yeah,
certain
yeah, okay.
hour, because,
Perfect.
Whatever time you want to put, yeah.
yeah. Does anybody have a preference on the hour?
7's fine, I think.
7, yeah.
Yeah, that's more than fair.
Okay, anything else?
And not earlier than, I don't know. I'm not saying you'd be, but you're gonna show up at 6,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
9 to 7?
7 is, yeah.
Yeah.
9
It
to
would
7.
be, it would honestly not be any time before noon, probably.
Okay.
And I would recommend, take note, if people have no solicitor signs on their property.
Absolutely.
We do get calls if people violate
Absolutely.
that, so please take
So
note of
I
people's.
did do a little door knocking for Power Home Remodeling. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the company. wasn't my cup of tea, but, so yeah, I'm completely, you know, aware of the no solicitation, no trespassing
Yeah,
signs.
don't
no-
trespass, yeah. don't-
Yeah,
If someone has a
absolutely.
sign, don't go, please.
Exactly. I was wondering if there is like potentially a no-knock list in town. I know some towns do have them.
We may have a.
I'm not familiar with
Drop me
them.
an email and I will check. The police department may have a list.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I can always check in with the police department as well. I'll
Check
send
with
you
it,
an email
yeah,
as well.
an email or catch up to Francis or myself and we'll
Will do.
confirm that.
It's never a bad idea just to tell them you're there doing
And
it.
do
If
we
you're gonna
usually-
do 5 to 10,
Yes.
just
We-
shout.
yeah,
I will always
typically-
check in with the police
Yes.
department before.
Because they'll get a call.
Do we
Absolutely,
usually require approval by the police department?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll,
I
Yes.
did, yeah, I did, yeah.
He's
oh, you already have the,
Yeah.
I'm
You
sorry.
get screened. and
Okay,
then-
that's right.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
already going through that
It's here,
process,
okay.
Yeah. All right, well,
So-
that makes sense to me. Oh, but sorry.
No, I don't have anything. Do you need a motion?
Yeah, we need a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve a hawker and peddler license for Aaron Gizzi of Triforce Exterior Services with an expiration date of March 12, 2027, soliciting during the hours between 9 a.m. and 7 p.m.
Second.
All those in favor? Great, thank you so much.
Good luck, God bless.
Thank you.
All right, we're moving to consideration and possible action on appointing Barbara Callahan to the Council on Aging for a term to expire April 21st, 2026. Yeah, it
It's a
seems,
recommendation from Leslie.
makes sense to me. Anybody have any questions? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint Barbara Callahan to the Council on Aging for a term to expire 4/21/26.
Second.
All those in favor? Great. Okay, we are not doing action item D. We do not have the cutting plan. We're moving to action item E, which is consideration and possible action on authorizing the town administrator to sign a proposal for engineering services on the Route 20 pump station preliminary design for $150,000 funded by FY26 capital operating budget. So this is the conversation that we had. This is the pump station that's right on the other side of Yankee Spirits. and
Right
we're
near
talking
Wicked
about-
Licks, yeah.
Yeah, and where we were having the conversation about the
Yes.
location about it and where it can pivot out of the
And what they would
floodplain
have to
zone.
do to keep it right where it is, and how close could they keep it. And I think the board had decided they wanted to see further what the study was and what would be involved in
Yeah.
all variations.
That makes
This is that
sense,
study.
yeah.
Nice. So this design will show different locations
We will
for
show
it in
different
addition to
options.
staying where it
Yes.
is?
Yeah.
And the alternative, the
What's
cost
feasible,
involved?
yes.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot, I mean,
Yeah, it's a big study. No, it's a major study.
it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It would involve everything from rebuilding in place to relocating, to how far we could relocate and what land would be viable.
Got it.
Yeah, it seems, given
Makes
the,
sense for them.
with the scope of the project, it seems.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the size of the study as a percentage of the project scope, it's really not that huge. It's just a big number for study.
Yeah, no, definitely is.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. Any questions from you guys, concerns?
No, after I read through everything, it made a lot of sense.
Yeah, all right, do we have a motion?
So moved.
All right,
I'll second.
all those in favor?
So I guess,
Do
So we-
a roll call because Katie's on the.
Oh, Katie, and yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, no, yeah. So I just had a question about like, what will be the remaining funds? Is it, in this line, this financial line, is it like, we have enough there to cover this, where it wouldn't take away from anything else?
Yes, yeah, this was funded through the capital operating budget. Our sewer reserve fund lines are not huge, and we do have to be careful of that, and we are cognizant of that. This project itself would actually have to be done through a borrowing, when we actually go to do the project. But we have the funds to cover this, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? And Katie, and I didn't skip over anything on the other items, did I? Apologize.
No, everything else is good, thank you.
So you should do a roll call.
Yeah, I forgot. That's my fault. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Do we, all those in favor? And Katie, do you say aye or do you say nay?
Yeah,
All right, perfect. All right, we're moving to consideration and possible action on the location of an elm on the town common. So basically, this is my understanding of what's going on here, and I know that the tree warden and Wally and Tom are here on this issue as well. So basically, there's if we call the public house true south, which it isn't true south, but for the sake of this conversation, let's say it's south, then the elm would be on the northeast corner on the opposite side of the common towards Butch Jackson's house from
Where the bench is.
where the bench is. And so it's a 36-foot elm. There's no tree coming down, and a lot of, I don't even know if we're gonna have any conversation on it, might just go through. So basically, it's a shade tree on that side of the common, effectively for the bench. It's staked out at present, and then there was a back and forth about whether or not this should come to the board or not, just because of the scale of it and because it involves the common. It seemed to be logical for a public hearing. So I have no real concerns of it in and of itself. I don't know if it's the best lie for it or not, but I'd like to hear from the board, and then if we have questions, we'll go
And for
from there.
clarification, this is the Liberty Elm that we're
Yeah.
buying as part of the 250th. It has a plaque, and at some point, once it's established and groomed around it, we'll do a dedication, probably either late May or early September with the school kids and whatnot, to do a dedication, just to get a broad picture of why this is even happening.
That's beautiful. What made you choose an elm tree over?
That's a program. The Liberty Elm is a program that's out there.
Oh.
And they've done this for years, it's like 20.
We've
I'm not
acquired,
familiar with it.
it's a nonprofit group.
Okay.
They were one of the first to develop a disease-resistant American elm tree, and they happened at the time to name it, each tree has a species name.
Right.
And they named it the American Liberty Elm.
Okay.
And this was probably back, I've planted some in town as tree warden in the past, 30-plus years ago. So they've been around for a long time. Obviously, this is a specimen tree that they've allowed to grow to that particular height of 35, 40 feet. It's kind of unique in that it's being shipped as a bare root tree. So that's, normally trees are that size are shipped with, a big spade that comes in and digs this huge ball of dirt out of the ground and ships it that way. But again, the cost and the size, they chose to do it bare root, which you can do. It's not, it's practice in the industry to have bare root trees. But the unique size of it kind of, makes it unique in that it just can't be planted every place where you could dig a hole and do a tree that's a 2-foot root ball.
Right.
Okay? So this is a good spot with it. Both Tony and I met with Andrew, the Parks and Rec coordinator, and to ensure that it would not be planted in the way of the layout of farmer market booths and harvest festival booths, and it's not. So it's one of those few spots. Prior to my retirement as tree warden, I had removed 2 trees off the common that never got replaced.
I remember.
And with Tony and Andrew, we walked around, and there were 4 more trees that have been removed and not had replacements planted. So, we're running a kind of like a deficit in, if we want to keep the trees on the common, we're
Right, some
we're
shade.
6 lost, and we haven't replaced any of them yet. So this
I
is
think
an
it's a great
attempt to
idea.
at least try to balance that a little bit.
This has been,
Like, I know nothing about this kind of stuff, but it's a good spot for the sun and all that. in terms
Absolutely.
of-
It's, we looked at the recent wiring, the conduits, so we're not, we're more than 8 feet away from the conduits. We're next to a bench, that could use the shade. There's no tree immediately near the bench.
Right.
And it's kind of 30 to 40 feet from the other 2 trees in that general area. So it feels kind of like a big hole. And again, with meeting with Andrew, he says we're not you know, it's not going to be in the way of any of the plans that are laid out for how booths are set up on the common. So it's a good, you know, in his opinion, it was a good space, good, proper place to
If you
to
see
plant
where it
it.
is, there really is.
Oh, no, and I
It's fairly-
remembered other trees came
Yeah.
down, so I think it's a great idea.
Funded by the 250th celebration, the purchase, so it's part of the whole 250th program, the Liberty Tree.
Robin, when you said you just had concerns along with what are the two major events for the 250 that's
Well,
going to be on
we
that?
have the parade, after parade festival, the afternoon
Yeah.
festival, and we
Yeah.
also have the May 17th Family Fun Day on the Common. So there are two major
But I mean,
events on the Common.
this is like long-standing. It's almost
yeah,
like, I
no, my
think those
concern
events should
is-
like set up so that they don't interfere with the
Well,
tree,
I'm not
rather
con-
than the
yeah,
other way
I'm not
around.
concerned about the setup so much as that much activity on the Common with a
Hurting
freshly
the tree.
planted tree.
Oh.
I mean, that's my
Oh, that was
concern.
your
We have
concern.
35 events on that Common this
Yeah.
summer. So that is, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I expressed these concerns to all three of these gentlemen that I had. There is a little bit of concern about the conduit. The root system's about 2 feet away from the conduit, the edge of the root system, you said?
Well, when we dig the hole, because it's a bare root tree, and a mature tree, obviously 35 feet, it's not, you know, it's not going to be a small
Yeah.
ball. We're planning on digging the basic hole about 6 feet in diameter. So as we plant the tree, yes, it will be about 2 to 3 feet off of the conduit. However, the wiring is in a conduit. So as the roots grow, the conduit, you could still, it has pull boxes, so, you know, if for whatever reason you need to change the wire, you know, and it won't be caused by the tree, because the tree roots won't get into the conduit.
And
It-
plus, like Tom said, we've had to take down a few trees.
Yeah,
So
no,
I think it's a wonderful idea.
I just felt I had to express
No, I
the,
get
you
it, but
know-
to at least replace one of them,
No, and Robin's point is that of a process one.
Right.
But and it's a logical one. But at the end of the day, the roots are gonna be an issue pretty much anyway. You know, like
the tree itself,
Run into verticals.
the tree itself is more than 30 feet off of the pavement.
Sure.
Because of the particular, you know, it's by the bench, so it's not like right near the edge of the road where cars would normally park. So, you know, if a typical car is 20, 22 feet, you know, and they pull in a foot or so off the road, you know, you're 25 feet, and we're more than 30 feet. So, you know, will there be some root impact? Absolutely. But the other thing about an elm tree is it can take that kind of abuse,
Abuse, yeah.
okay, if I could use that word.
Yeah.
Much better than a sugar maple tree.
Okay.
And those are the trees we're losing to soil compaction, is the sugar maple trees. They were planted back in the 70s, some of them, much, you know, before we had concerts on the Common, before we, you know, the biggest thing back then was kids playing soccer with cleats.
Sure.
You know, it really wasn't an issue like we have today. So, you know, the trees were the best trees back then, we thought. But, you know, as the town matures and develops, you know, we change how we use things. And so even when I was replacing trees on the Common, they were elms, they were oaks, they were trees that were better able to sustain the, you know, the use of the Common as we're using it today.
I just have one more question. Like, again, this is so out of my element, but a tree that size, is there a risk that it won't make it? Isn't it easy? Like, I'm glad it's so big, but like, is there a percentage of trees, if they're not installed correctly, given that size, that don't make it? Or is it kind of, we're sure that it's gonna be okay?
Well, that's a really, let me pull a coin out of my pocket and flip it, okay?
Tony has volunteered to do the watering on this, because it needs immense
Yeah,
watering
we-
up front.
There is concern.
There's concern, and, you know, I mean, even a 2-foot bald and bare wrap root tree, you know, there's a, you know, there's not a, you know, there's a
It's
percentage
no
that just
guarantee,
don't
but I
make
thought
it.
the bigger you get, the trickier it is, right?
Right, and so I've talked with Tony, we've ensured that we can water it. It will need to be staked, because it is a bare root tree and given its size, but we're gonna be putting a snow fence around the tree, you know, to protect the staking and the guys and all of that
So
stuff.
you know what you're doing.
So no, you know, we're trying to be as safe as we can and proactive as we can to ensure the tree is, you know, will survive.
Yeah, there's no guarantees, though. But,
Can I interject one thing?
Oh, sure,
On
Will.
a memorial note, on a historical note, it's unique in the timeliness of this American Liberty Tree, which has been developed years and years ago, to be the 250th anniversary.
Right.
Obviously, I wanted to get to that. But, however, back in the 1770s, it was Ebenezer Crafts and his son Samuel that planted the original elm trees on the common and on in front of the inn there, and they hadn't been there before. And that's why it was later called in the 19th century the elms. So the elms is very, very important to the town common area, because not only did he plant them in front of the inn, he had them on the common as well.
Nice.
So we've come full circle. So that's kind of a neat historical thing for Sturbridge.
Right.
It's a nice thing back now.
And we also have, near the library, towards 131, we have the Washington elm, which originally was an elm tree planted in 1932 in honor of the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. But unfortunately, with the reconstruction of 131, we couldn't schedule the pruning of that tree because of the relocated of the poles and the wires, and it unfortunately succumbed to the Dutch elm disease. We have since replanted an elm tree there. So, you know, elms have been, you know, kind of really key to, you know, the common, to our history, to, you know, I mean, the Liberty tree was an elm tree in Boston that, you know, was special to, you know, the events that happened in Boston during the early
Nice.
stages of the Revolution,
I'm
so.
going to put some kind of plaque on the
It comes
tree.
with a,
It
it
Oh,
comes
it's
with a
coming with a
plaque.
plaque?
Yep.
I think it's a great, I'm very
comes with,
excited
and like I
about
said,
it.
that's why I think we want the school children to do something when the time is right, like Mr. Brier does with them on Memorial Day.
no, it's great. So with that, Mary Lou, do you have anything on it?
I just think it's a great idea, and I'm glad you clarified some things, because I was concerned about the vulnerability of the tree. But it seems like you're doing
When-
everything
when's-
possible to ensure that it's going to survive.
And Katie, and do you have any thoughts, concerns?
In terms of watering, what's that gonna look like? Is that gonna be like a DPW, or how are we gonna manage that moving forward?
So Tony has volunteered to take the time to do it. DPW does have a watering truck that we can let Tony use. Because just for us to even send DPW over the amount of time it's gonna take and the amount of waterings that's gonna need and no days missed.
Has to be very diligent.
Yeah, you can't really miss days, weekends, holidays, so Tony has stepped up to volunteer to do that. DPW will provide the watering truck.
Thank you, Tony. Or
Yeah,
yeah,
thank you, John. Yeah.
Katie, anything else? I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just thanking Tony, Aaron, thank you guys.
Okay. Robin, you were gonna say something? Apologize.
Just one quick thing, Andrew did indicate that rec does want to have some input, the rec committee, 4 out of his 5 members did say they vote May 4th. My only concern is can we, if we order it ahead, I mean,
Is May 4th an issue?
will May 4th be an issue for timing? I know we're borderline on the tree, timing-wise, for weather and time of
I
year.
can't answer that, but I definitely will dive into that tomorrow morning.
Okay, well, if,
I mean, it was supposed to be delivered today.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the Liberty Elm Foundation canceled that, so maybe they're having trouble.
They
No, we held,
I thought you
we
said that
held.
nobody had it.
It was held until we could make sure that
Because-
everybody was.
It was held, I mean, we weren't gonna plant it, but,
Right.
you know.
But
I
you're
mean,
gonna have
the
it delivered, but then it's
later
gonna
in the season you wait.
The more challenging.
Right.
here-
the more
here's,
challenging.
so
Which,
let's,
which they know, so,
let's,
you know.
let's take the following steps. So we'll vote here tonight, and then assuming it's favorable, which it sounds like it's going to be, Tony will reach out to the company tomorrow, check on timing. If the 4th is going to be outcome determinative, the rec committee will have to make a determination as to whether or not it wants to have an emergency meeting on it. And if not, they're gonna have to live with it. Because technically, I think this is within our purview, so.
if I could just add some of the scientific stuff. A bare root tree, and I talked to the Liberty Elm Foundation people personally myself, they're going to, once the tree is pulled out of the ground, as they explained it to me, they have very sandy soil where they plant them, which means, you know, they just can't, you know, wrap a ball or, you know, ship it down the road with sand falling all over the place. So what they do is they take off the sand, and, which is done, you know, in the industry, is the roots are dipped into like a paper mache. If you've ever seen somebody, you know, do that spray lawn where, you know, it's, the seeds are encapsulated. Basically, they do the same thing on the roots of the tree, where the roots are encapsulated in a material that we can keep moist, so the tree, you know, survives. And, you know, the ideal is 3 to 4 days max.
But we don't want to wait, yeah.
But we can, you know, if, you know, I've talked to Tony, we have the ability to properly, if the tree comes early and we've got to wait for the Parks and Rec Committee meeting, we can hold the tree for a couple days, we can cover it, we can protect it, we can moisten that material on the roots, we can make it work.
You just
Make it
prefer
work,
not
but
to
maybe-
do, yeah.
but maybe they can also,
They might be able
like
to
our
hold a
chair
special.
said, hold a special.
Yeah, no,
because we've done that before.
So it happens sometimes if the reality of the circumstance is, you know, this is a timing issue, these things happen, whatever. But if Tony, if there's a reason this just has to happen, just make it happen. Like, so if assuming the votes are there, the rec committee wants to opine on it and they want to have engage in the conversation, that's perfectly appropriate, but it has to happen.
We need to be very proactive to
Yep. I'll send
so
an
please
email
be able
simultaneously
to
to
make
Beck
it
tomorrow.
successful.
Yeah.
To try to get them to call.
And I think we just all have to work to make sure we're not doing things at the last minute with these type of things, because when we're taking actions about trees on the common, we're gonna get a extra level of attention any which direction. So we just wanna make sure that we're, you know, these things kind of are processed through, which is nobody's particularly
I have a
fault.
question.
Sure, go ahead.
The people or whoever's gonna dig the hole for the tree, are they going to be, available on a moment's notice or a day or two notice?
It's our highway department,
Okay.
and obviously
They better be.
we've coordinated with Heather.
And I was doing
They should be, they better be. But we also, yeah,
I agree with our chair, though. I don't think we should hold it up for days.
No,
Waiting for a meeting to
yeah,
happen.
we'll see if Rec can do an
Well, let's just-
emergency
let's-
virtual.
one
It would be best if we don't.
Right.
Right.
Let's just, one thing at a time, let's get through our vote,
yeah.
and then Tony understands that he has to drive it forward, and then we'll take it from there. So with that, I'm going to make a motion to approve the elm as presently staked, and what I guess I described inaccurately, but for the sake of this conversation.
If you want to, it's actually the northeast corner.
That's what I said.
That's what he said. I'll second it. He said
So
it.
you navigate that like
And
that.
then, the northeast corner, do we have a second?
I second.
All those in favor? Kadian, how do you vote?
Yes, yes.
All right, great. Thanks, guys, for coming in.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Katie, congratulations. Mary Lou, congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys get to do a lot of free work.
Congratulations.
So I'm gonna make all right, so next, the fee increase from the assessor's office.
So this was something actually Ann had sent to my desk months ago, and it got lost in my email somehow, and she re-emailed me, she said, hey, any thoughts on these fees? So Ann had taken a little bit of a surrounding look. We were way sort of disproportionately low on certified abutters lists and producing the information, and you can see in her message, we charge $5 for an abutter list and $3 per sheet of label. The majority are charging $25 for an abutters list to our $5. We also calculated out the cost of the mailing. It costs us $100 a box. So we're basically barely making, if not losing money on this, which means, you know, taxpayers are funding this process for people who are sort of requesting it because we're not charging enough for the service. Okay. So she recommended the following, the rates. She's recommending an increase of the fee to $4 a sheet and $25 for an abutters list. This is on par with what other communities are doing, and I support that. I think it's very fair and very reasonable. There's a lot of work that gets involved in pulling these things up, depending on the numbers of abutters, and we do it a lot. You know, this goes on a lot, so.
Okay. Makes sense to me. Questions?
I don't have a question, but like, I don't know, going from 5 to 25, and we don't have any of the surrounding, the surrounding
we do.
towns around the back,
Yeah.
okay. I mean,
Yeah, they're-
I feel like sometimes we hold things so low, and then we need this big increase.
I would feel different, I think, if we were going from like 100 to 500, but I think $25 is still so reasonable of an amount of money that if you're looking to do some type of a project that needs an abutters list or that type of a thing, I think 25 still, yeah. I would agree on a 500% increase.
Percentage-wise, you're totally
Yeah,
right. Within
yeah.
that, but I think.
But if
within
it's
the-
$25, I'm still thinking it's, cheaper than a visit to a coffee shop, so.
Yeah. Mary Lou, anything?
No?
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the fee increase from the assessor's office.
Wait a second.
Second.
All those in favor? Katie, you didn't have anything on that, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, yes, I'm in.
Okay. Please just speak it, just interrupt me, because I'm
Jump in
gonna
around
forget
here,
again. So, I'm not getting any smarter. Okay, consideration and possible action on acceptance of an automated external defibrillator AED from G&F Precision Molding Inc.
So, GNF reached out, Mr. Argytis reached out to me with a couple of conference tables and an AED. Unfortunately, the conference tables were beautiful, but we just don't have any room. And the AED I put out to the chief and recreational department heads. We certainly can use it. I guess it's still within compliance of whatever it needs to be, and rec can always use them at its location. So, we would like to gratefully accept that donation with the board's approval.
All right, any questions, comments?
I think it's great.
Yeah, agree. Okay, with that, do we have a motion?
Make a motion to accept the AED from GNF Precision Molding, Inc.
Do we have a second?
Second.
And
I can
Katie,
second it.
what's up?
You second it.
Oh, second.
Katie and second.
I can second.
You gotta be on video, Katie, because I have no. But, all right, so, but, what were you saying?
No, I was seconding, but I was also wondering if there was a location identified for where this could possibly go, or you'll work with PD or and rec.
We'll work with fire and rec. It likely will go at one of the rec facilities because, I mean, maybe town barn, because fire has its own anyway. And PD, I think all of our guys have accessibility, so likely you're gonna go at a rec facility.
Even better. Thank you.
All right, great. So, with that, we have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor? And Katie, and you, aye?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And then we are moving to possible acceptance of an anonymous donation of $5,000 to the senior center.
So Leslie called me and asked me if we could accept a donation of $5,000, but the person didn't want to have his name out there publicly. It's a private donation. I asked Leslie if the person has any business conflict or business dealings in the town other than just being a resident. She indicated that the person did not. Given that there are no business dealings in town, we obviously will have a record of whose name it is, to be aware of that. But that would be the only conflict I would see. I didn't want to turn the money down because the person doesn't want public recognition at a board meeting, but the acceptance has to be done publicly. So,
Okay.
given that there's no conflict that we see from a business standpoint,
It's a strange, it's, first of all, whomever is doing it's very generous, and we
Yes.
really.
and has donated large amounts before.
Yeah, I just, yeah, I mean, I guess, I don't know about the only question I'd have is on the back end. I don't think there's a problem with us accepting it anonymously, assuming you and Leslie are aware of who it is and warrant that there are no conflicts of interest or any other
Person's
sort
not
of.
bidding on a project
Yeah,
this week.
exactly.
Yeah.
So there's no, we don't run afoul of any of
Yeah.
the Massachusetts laws on that effect. So as long as that, I think that that's fine. I'm not sure what it means in terms of the ins and outs of the budget. I don't think you can have anonymous donations.
No, the
really.
name will come from a check from somebody. They
Yeah,
just did-
so-
It's just that because it's a public meeting, I'd have to put the name on the public agenda, and the person just didn't want public recognition. But the name of the person within town business, I mean,
Yeah, I
obviously
mean,
it's
as
gonna
long
come
as
as a
it's,
check.
I mean,
So we'll have a
if
check.
you need us to accept a donation from an anonymous person on the representation that this anonymous person has no business dealings with the town of Sturbridge, this anonymous person's donation is consistent with the Massachusetts laws that apply, and that the anonymity is only for the purposes of the attention that this type of meeting would gather. I'm fine making a motion to that effect, assuming the remainder of the board is.
And I will codify that in a correspondence,
Yeah.
so that that's.
And if any of the
documented.
board were to want to in-camera review how it was to make sure they could, I guess.
Yes.
But, so that would be so that's the motion I would make, because I think that's probably how we have to make that motion. What do you guys think?
I think that's very prudent.
Yes.
So do we have a second?
Second.
Mary Lou, Katie, any questions, comments?
No?
Okay, with that, all those in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna make you vote like that all the time, Katie. Katie's sticking ayes and nays. Okay. All right, moving on to action item J, which is consideration and possible action on STM Article 55, snow and ice removal deficit, to support in the amount of $216,000, 783, $216,783.57. So just shy of
because we still had snow
270,000.
and ice coming before we put the warrant together and before you all could vote on STM articles, we just need you, so that we don't have to do this Monday night on the floor of town meeting, we will then say that the board has voted to support, because you had voted to, place the article. Now you're supporting it in the amount of
Okay.
that number.
Any questions or concerns?
Hopefully no snow tonight, as they were predicting snow or possible sleet tonight. Hopefully no more snow ice.
All right, with that noted, so hearing no questions or concerns, I am going to make a motion to support action on special town meeting Article 55, snow and ice removal deficit, in the amount of $216,783.57. So $216,783.57.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, great, the ayes have it. Moving on, so we have no unpaid bills from the previous year, so action item K requires no action.
Yeah,
correct?
a motion to take no action.
All right.
So you have to take action to not take action.
No unpaid bills from last year, so we have to take a vote to take no action. Any questions, thoughts, concerns? Hearing none, I'm going to make a motion to take no action on special town meeting article 56, unpaid bills of a previous year, as there are none. Do we have a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Gideon. Consideration and possible action on special town meeting Article 57, wastewater treatment plant clarifier number 1, repairs and painting, and to support in the amount of $105,000 is the request. So what's going on, Robin?
So we had gotten support for this last year at town meeting, and the amount originally offered was not enough when the bids came in. So to even meet the lowest of bids, we need $105,000 more for this.
Okay.
And this is important. This is one of those not nice to haves, it's a must have.
Is this the internal, was this the internal treatments? Am I making that up?
Yeah, this has to do with the inside of the.
Yeah, so this is the inside of the.
Because
where
the
they're-
scrubbing thing kind of damages
Yeah,
them.
okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That
given
was
the
not very
scale of it.
scientific.
No, but
The
it makes.
scrubbing thing
No, but it
damages
makes sense within the scale of the,
Yeah.
the
Yes.
thing. So,
This is large
okay, so with that, explanation, any thoughts, questions, concerns from the board? All right, hearing none, I'm going to make a motion to support special town meeting Article 57, wastewater treatment plant clarifier number 1, repairs and painting, in the amount of $105,000. Do we have a second?
Second?
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
I laugh every time. I'm not getting any smarter. Moving on to action item M, consideration and possible action on special town meeting Article 60, acceptance of MGL Chapter 40, Section 42A-42F, and MGL Chapter 83, Section 16A-6 to 16F And again, we're going to vote to take no action.
It turned out after going back and forth with the attorneys, Barbara thought we needed to put this on to be able to do a certain type of a lien on outstanding bills with water sewer. We don't need to do this, so.
Okay. So this is basically just removing
Just removing
a
the
powers
article.
vote?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to, unless there's questions or concerns, any questions or concerns? No. Okay. I'm going to make a motion on special town meeting Article 60, acceptance of MGL Chapter 40, Section 42A through 42F, and MGL Chapter 83, Section 16A through 16F, to take no action. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then we're moving to action item N, which is consideration and possible action on annual town meeting Article 8, Town Budget, to amend the Veteran Service line item to reflect the removal of $11,274 from purchase of services and placement of that amount into salaries and wages.
So we were originally possibly going to regionalize with another community where our interim director was working and have that person and sort of pay the other town that service. That's why I was under purchase of services as opposed to salaries. That person no longer is working in the other town. So when we're going to advertise again and advertise it as a position, whether that person takes it or it goes to someone else, it has to be now a salary position versus a purchase of service position. It's
Makes
just
sense.
literally a line item question of where it falls more accurately,
It's a salary.
the salary.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions, thoughts, concerns?
Makes sense.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion to amend the Veteran Services line item to remove $11,274 from purchases of services and place that same amount in salaries and wages. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Great.
Aye.
Yep. Okay, old business, town plantings.
Yeah, Mary, you had wanted that memo, so I did give that to you, and that gives
Yeah.
the plantings and then for the actual materials, plus it doesn't include mulch and labor.
Yeah, so, again, ARPA put aside $30,000. The only amount, to me, it's not acceptable. I mean, it's $6,599 worth of plants that they've itemized. Hold on, Robin, I know. At the bottom, there are additional plants on the bottom, but they didn't have the amount of money, and we can just go out and figure out what that costs. That's not acceptable. I want to know exactly how much money went to plantings and exactly how much money went to labor, because all this shows is that it's $6,500 for the top portion, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, where they just said how many there are. And then for us to, we can figure out by, going to
That was
Home
me saying I
Depots.
was doing that. I literally was
Yeah, that's
online
not
trying
okay.
to do
I
it.
mean,
Yep.
they should, it's just not acceptable. They should give the breakdown of what the costs. And I also was under the impression that at every season, there would be things coming up, so.
It should be.
Well,
Hopefully.
it's spring. I
Yep.
mean, there were no daffodils, no hibiscus, no pansies, nothing. And the evergreens that were planted, if you look at them, some of them haven't made it on top around the Welcome to Sturbridge sign. They're, they're not fully dying, but they didn't make it.
And I
So
can't
as far as
speak
I'm concerned,
seasonally.
nothing bloomed this spring. And it's a disappointment to me when ARPA gave that much money. I know that we put it at the DPW signage and at
Some at
police
public
and
safety,
fire,
some here.
but the majority was supposed to go around the Welcome to Sturbridge. And you went and talked to the state, we were supposed to have other clusters.
We do.
Of vegetation, so this is the planting season.
That's right, so that's in process, and we had to go out to bid, because again, we can't just keep giving the same person. So
No,
we have
part of
landscape-
this 30,
Yep, that's
part of
I
this
believe-
30,000 was supposed to be not just in front of the Welcome to Sturbridge, it was supposed to have some.
No, I'll go back on the minutes, Barry.
Well, ARPA was focused, and Chase Kabinski, this goes back to Jeff Bridges, we took a ride and said, some of these plantings went to where, personally, that was not where I thought the plantings were going. I didn't think they were going in front of the DPW sign, which no tourists see. I mean, nobody that's a tourist is going down the DPW road. And I didn't think it was going in front of the police and fire. It's too late now, and we also don't have anything this spring in front of the Welcome to Sturbridge sign. It's all left over from Christmas, and some of those evergreens, if you take a ride by them, weren't maintained because they're not doing well.
No, they're not.
Have you noticed? They're in very rough shape. So it's been a disappointment. And for them, you know, for any company not to have the prices of what they gave us, that's just not acceptable.
Unfortunately, my contact there retired.
I
and
know, I'm not saying it's you, I'm just
yeah,
saying.
I'm trying to get the numbers.
It's just not acceptable, and we have 8 hydrangea bushes planted. Where did those 8 hydrangea bushes go? They didn't go around the Sturbridge sign. Were there 8 hydrangea bushes planted around that?
There's,
I
I
didn't
think,
see
2
any.
at Public Safety, there may be 2 at DPW, and I thought there were 4 there, but I mean, I can go, I'm not a plant person, I can go
Hibiscus,
try to
that's
find
a
out.
spring.
Here, I think Mary's point, if, at some level, at least, that it's, where we are. You know what I mean? Like, this is kind of what it is at this point. But it shouldn't be so difficult to figure out what went where and when. Like, that seems like it's, and again,
Thank you.
this is sort of some pretty light spreadsheet work. This isn't that hard. So I guess I would ask them to give us a little more specificity in terms of what happened when, and where even again, maybe I'm missing something on the other page because I'm tired, but it's this is the cost at the nursery without shipment pickup. So what's the shipment or pickup price?
Right,
What
yeah.
is that? Is that an internal price or is that an external price? You know,
Where was the location of all these plants planted?
mulch,
I don't know
design
where they
costs,
went.
it just needs to be, this isn't, listen, if it was,
It's $30,000, you know? I mean,
yeah, and it's just not, we're not, this isn't my law firm where I can just sort of be like, well, I don't, whatever. It's just, we have to kind of know where the things went, so we need a better level of detail, Robin, that's not, and again, I'm not asking you to do that.
Right.
I'm asking them to do that.
Exactly. I know you're the messenger, but they need to say what their labor was, where all these plantings went, as our chair said, and the prices for everything.
Yeah, it just shouldn't be this, it might all be fine, and it's not like I don't think they did anything untoward, it's just like, it just shouldn't be this difficult.
I mean, looking at that picture, I can't tell you what plants these
No,
are.
exactly, I mean,
And, you know, and where did they go?
And it's a little, and that part of town's a little complicated too, because it's not like you're gonna get out and walk around over there. It's a little bit of a spot.
right. And we have to have our DPW or somebody like maintain it once they put it in, because those trees, I don't know if they're gonna make it. Those evergreens,
Fortunately, we
I don't know
cannot
if you're
exactly
doing
have the
any
winter of a
campaigning.
lifetime for
Yeah,
plants.
and that just sometimes, and that might just
For
be,
first-year plants, this was the worst possible winter for new plants.
maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but, and it's, I don't, plant side, sometimes it is what it is, but, with that, anything else, Mary? I think
No,
sort of
that's
it. All right, Mary Lou, anything
No,
else?
that's it.
Katie, and anything on that, bud?
No, I think you guys have it, thank you.
Okay, and then, any other old business, Mary Lou?
Just one thing for Robin, and I know she's gonna, what about the door at the library?
Oh, I did ask Jeremy, and they were waiting till we got out of the bad weather, and we are now out of the bad weather, so we should be good.
And they're gonna stain it, not paint it, correct?
That's what
Okay.
I'm told.
All right, so
But I'm told a lot of things that don't seem to, or not told certain things that end up happening.
I know, I'm sorry I keep harping
No,
on
you're
that,
right,
but
no, keep things on my radar like that, because sometimes those that seem small are the things that fly
Yeah.
off the radar or under the radar.
no, it makes sense. Anything else, Mary Lou?
no.
Katie, and I don't know that you would really have old business, but you're welcome to pitch in.
And that's what I'm on, still
All
learning.
right, all right.
We all are.
And this is constant.
Oh,
And I have no old business other than, we were talking about the retreat in the end of May. We probably should, because we needed to have Robin's performance evaluation codified from last year and reset for this year. And so we have to do that, and I understand why we haven't, because it's been a bit of a peculiar might be an understatement a year, but so we kind of got to get the train back on the tracks with that. Katie, and I believe we had talked about doing the retreat meeting on the second May meeting on a Saturday.
No, it was the 4th May. I couldn't do the 1st or 2nd. I now can do the 1st, but we had said the 4th. Because the 3rd was Memorial Day.
We don't want to do Memorial Day.
No, the
No,
3rd
no.
is Memorial Day. the
Oh,
third
no, so it's
Monday.
our first meeting in May. We wanted to do on, what would be the date?
So our first meeting in May is May 4th, I believe. Hold on.
So May 4th, so it would be Tuesday.
So May 4th is our first meeting of the month. We had originally scheduled, because the 3rd Saturday, so Memorial Day falls very early this year. Memorial Day falls on the 25th, so the 23rd, we were looking at the 30th, I think, of May originally. Isn't that what we talked about, Francis? And I cannot do the second week of May.
Okay.
I can do the Saturday, but that would be before our next meeting, the Saturday, May 2nd.
Yeah, that's not gonna
Okay.
be,
I can't believe it's almost May.
yeah, I know.
No.
And I'm on trial that whole week, so it's not gonna be great.
Okay.
So and really we'd be scheduling the second meeting as the Saturday meeting. We don't do both, right?
We
The
had,
retreat.
we were, but I mean, if we don't have any major business, we don't really have to.
No, but I'm not making that up, right, Mary? Usually
you're right.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm fine with
I
the
don't-
second meeting
me
being a
too.
retreat on the 30th. If, Katie, are you available on that day? It's a Saturday. It's when we kind of do our agenda
8
setting.
o'clock, and I think we said we were moving it to early.
Yeah, it would be breakfast. Usually it's breakfast at the public house.
Yeah, the 30th, yeah, that works.
And I think that said it worked for Chase. So let's stay with that, and we'll.
30th at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, and Robin, if you could send for, your goals.
Yep.
And part of it, and then we'll feedback and then clean up the performance pieces on that and catch up on that as well. Okay, so that's me. So that was old business. New business, Mary Lou.
Nothing?
No.
Katie, in any new business? Oh, okay.
Oh, we lost.
That's all right. It's,
Toward the end.
he got through most of it. I'm impressed he came on his vacation. Okay, and then, so no new business, there was no correspondence, and then just approval of minutes, so we have the September 23rd, 2024
Yeah.
meeting minutes.
You're probably going to have to vote out of necessity.
Yeah, I'll vote it on necessity.
I'll make a motion to approve the September 23 meeting minutes,
Second.
2024.
I will, all right, all those in favor? All right, and I voted in favor out of necessity. The April 6th, 2026 meetings, any edits?
He's back.
I wasn't here there, so
No, it's okay. It's okay, bud. It happens. All right, so,
want to hold them for Chase?
yeah, we'll hold these for Chase. Citizens Forum, nobody is here. All right, so with that, make a motion to adjourn. All those in favor?
Thank you,
Great.
everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Katie.
Thanks, Katie.